Hi, Poppy. Hey, Mr. A. All right, let's start with the song real quick. That is such a good song. One to keep it mellow, mellow fellow today. Okay, you guys, we need to get caught up on these true crime cases. I am so sorry. I hadn't realized that I had scheduled a live yesterday, and I was feeling really, really under the weather. I had to go to the doctor, got me some medication. So I'm not feeling 100%, but I got to do my thing. Got bills to pay. You know how it is. So I need to get back into the mix here. So I have been researching the case of 12-year-old RJ from Oklahoma. I don't want to show his picture because he is only 12 years old. I will show you what his parents look like. So this is crazy the more you get into it, you guys. So let's just thank you, Poppy, for letting me know that I was scheduled yesterday, darling. I appreciate you giving me a heads up on that because, like I said, I didn't realize it. And I feel really bad about that. I really do. Y'all know I don't like to do stuff like that. So, no, I really haven't been keeping up with what's going on the YouTube streets. A lot of it is just regurgitated and, you know, yes, crap mom and crap dad. You better believe it. Okay, and I hate to do this, but I do need to monetize this because I'm very poor. I'm a poor lady. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and monetize this live. I will try to maintain my, my weirdness today. I still have to go through, and the last couple lives I did, I had music in it, and so I couldn't monetize that. I got to go in and take the music out. That's the only reason they're privatized, because I don't give a crap what anybody thinks about what I say. And what I say, I mean what I say. So I will re-release those. So I apologize. I apologize to anybody who didn't get to hear that whole live. Okay, so we know RJ's a 12-year-old from Oklahoma that ran away from home. Okay, he had been gone for about over a week. And luckily, I believe the Cajun Navy found him. Now, what is sad to me about this, the little boy actually thought he was in trouble. What also disgusted me about this, his stepfather and his mother went on the news stating their concern and wanted him to be found safe and sound and brought back home. Brought back home for what? For what? To be abused? Now, let me say this. Mom has charges, and I'll go over the charges, but mom was messing with animals, if you know what I mean. Totally disgusting. Now, this is bad. Also, that when stepdaddy went to court, he immediately, when they took him back to the jail, he tried to unalive himself. So these are a couple parents who sound to me like they don't have any problem bullying their children and abusing them and doing horrible things to them. But, you know, I'm sure it's all just so disgusting. So RJ was reported missing on January 2nd. His parents were arrested days later, booked into the Caddo County Jail. They faced numerous charges, including child neglect and child sexual abuse. We're talking, it is said that they allegedly used tasers, they used zip ties, they did such inappropriate things to this little boy and another child that was in the home. I believe the sexual stuff was against the other child living in the home, but we'll get into it because I like to learn these things while I'm learning it with you guys. So he was last seen around 11 p.m. on January 2nd. His disappearance prompted a search by law enforcement officials. He'd been missing for about a week. On the 11th, the United Cajun Navy found him inside of a shelter of sorts near Cement, not far from where he had lived with his parents. It was stated that the child abuse charges on the stepfather, I believe, was using zip ties, handcuffs overnight, using a taser, trigger warning, stabbing him with a knife, forcing him to eat hot sauce, slamming his head into a truck, smacking him with a cattle probe, and causing tooth loss. After being found, he was taken back to the Quality Inn in Chickasha, where the community cheered for his safe return. He was apologetic and terrified, super scared, like he was going to be in trouble. The Cajun Navy assured him it wasn't his fault. He's safe. They gave him a big hug. It is said that a member of the Cajun Navy actually wiped away the tears on this young boy's face and cried himself. Now, let's get into these parents. George and Kimberly Cole, who are the stepfather and biological mother, were arrested on January 7th, booked into the Caddo County Jail. George Cole was booked on account of conspiracy. Kimberly Cole was booked on account of crimes against nature. Okay, so I know that a lot of people, the crimes against nature is, it usually involves a minor, which are specific sex crimes in some U.S. states like Louisiana, criminalizing sexual acts with juvenile or people with disability, often under aggravated crimes against nature status, highlighting sexual abuse or exploitation of vulnerable individuals. Distinct from the historical sodomy laws, but still carrying severe penalties like mandatory sex offender registration. Usually to include sex acts with minors under 17 or 18, depending on each individual state law. That's aggravated crime against nature. Prohibited acts can involve sexual intercourse, battery, molestation, indecent behavior, or any sexual involvement with a child. We also know that it can carry it's the having sexual intercourse up the poopy chute too. Hey, super sensible. I don't know how to word this, you guys, right? The laws also target sexual abuse, exploitation, crimes involving minors or vulnerable populations, often carrying a significant prison sentence and sex offender registry requirements. So it has to do with mainly the children. But wouldn't that be with the animals too? I would think. Okay. So in Oklahoma, the term crime against nature also falls under forcible sodomy. It also says any sexual penetration, however slight, is sufficient to complete the crime against nature. When convicted of only this crime, the felony is punishable up to 10 years in prison. Okay, so we will get into each distinct charge. And I'm going to say trigger warning again because this is horrible that this young man, I'm just relieved that he is safe now, but the things that they were doing to him in that home is horrible. Court documents are revealing disturbing details regarding multiple charges filed against the mother and stepfather of the missing 12-year-old from Chickasha, which is now in state custody. According to investigators, Kimberly Cole, the boy's mother, I'm going to show you a picture of her. Maybe I will. Okay, there she is. According to investigators, Kimberly Cole, the boy's mother, faces multiple child abuse charges related to different incidents. Those including allegations of forcing the child to eat hot sauce as punishment and using zip ties and handcuffs to restrain him. You guys, we've heard a lot of these stories where these individuals use hot sauce. Hey, Twister, isn't that crazy? They use hot sauce. Now, from my understanding, RJ's father is trying to get full custody of him right now. Okay, this is the nasty stepdaddy. He faces allegations including tasing the child multiple times, using a knife on him, and striking him with a nightstick. Can you believe that? That's horrible. Another minor listed in the documents was also allegedly subjected to abuse, including multiple accounts of sexual abuse. Now, Kimberly Cole, the mother, faces additional charges for crimes against nature for alleged sexual acts with multiple canines. Okay, so maybe that's where they're getting the nature acts. This is just horrible. It really is. Let me try to get me a sidekick here. Something to share my screen with. For sure. I mean, that is just so freaking sad. Hold on, I gotta find out where I'm at here, you guys. I've got too many tabs pulled up as usual. Yes, you're right. You're right, Poppy. Scout, I'm just going to say this, and people need to understand this. You will not get away with being a bad person. We could have been reading a story where this young boy wasn't on this earth anymore, instead of having the ending that we're having right now. So then, oh, stepdaddy there. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta find that. Oh, here it is. Okay, that's dad and okay, now I know where I'm at. Sorry, guys. I'm so far behind on all my updates. Okay, so George Cole, after appearing before a district judge, decides that he doesn't want to live anymore. So now, as of Tuesday evening, he was in critical condition and undergoing tests at an area hospital. That is so sick about his mother. They're not even sure where RJ had been within that time frame at all. At all, y'all. They're going to get theirs, though. They are going to pay. They will. For sure. That is so sad. That is so sad. A little 12-year-old boy. You know, that's what gets me. Let's see. I was going to read their charges to you guys. Okay, so Kimberly Cole's facing 11 felony charges, including 3 counts of child abuse, 3 counts of child neglect, 2 counts of sexual abuse, 2 counts of crimes against nature, and 1 count of conspiracy. The stepdad was charged with 8 counts of child abuse, 1 count of child sexual abuse, and 1 count of child neglect. Which one's worse? They're both as bad. Hey, Miss Justice, good to see you. It is good to see you. So, mom's got child abuse, child abuse, child abuse, child sexual abuse, child sexual abuse, child neglect, child neglect, child neglect, conspiracy, and 2 counts of crimes against nature. What is up with, I mean, that is freaking sick ass shit. That is sick. I mean, for real. Okay, wait. Oh, shoot, I messed up. Hang on, I messed up. I'm sorry. Okay, so hopefully this is telling us the charges. This is a news. This is a news article. This is 5 News KOCA.
And it's detailing some of these allegations that first came to light when that 12-year-old little boy first went missing. And we learned today that another child is allegedly victimized as well.
So there's two different children.
While documents reveal the nightmare that investigators say Kimberly and Cole Jr. put their children through, starting with Cole Jr., who's facing 14 charges. They include accusations he tied his child up with zip ties and handcuffs.
Hang on, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sure you couldn't hear that. I didn't have it up very loud. Low budget channel.
And stabbed the 12-year-old and
Okay. Okay, wait a minute. I am just messing shit up all over around here. Ugh. I got to get my mojo back, you guys. It's horrible.
Before we begin, I do want to warn you, some of what I'm about to say you may find disturbing. I have the counts right here, all the charges, and it's detailing some of these allegations that first came to light when that 12-year-old little boy first went missing. And we learned today that another child is allegedly victimized as well. Newly filed documents reveal the nightmare that investigators say Kimberly and Cole Jr. put their children through, starting with Cole Jr., who's facing 14 charges. They include accusations he tied his child up with zip ties and handcuffs, tased and stabbed the 12-year-old, and many more abuses not suitable for TV. But he's also charged with the abuse of a young girl, and Kim's charges are similar. Investigators say in addition to the abuse, they never provided education for either child and showed a pattern of criminal offenses. They all happened between January 2020 and now. This all comes after the boy ran away for a week and a half.
Miss Justice, I thought it was maybe the sexual acts against the child, and I think it's that also, but it has to do with the mother and canines. The mother has charges of doing things to canines.
Later found at their family farm. While he's in care of the state now, his biological father told me today he's trying to get custody. There's also been an outpouring of offers for support from the community.
Hopefully they'll place him in a good home, and they'll take care of him a lot better than his mom and stepdad did.
And I did just get a statement back from DHS. I was reaching out to them earlier today to see if there were any red flags or if they knew anything about this situation before all of this came to light. And they literally just got back to me right now. They said that state and federal laws strictly limit them on what they're able to tell us, but they're also going into some of the ways that you would be able to help kids like RJ, not him specific.
Okay, so basically DCF says we can't tell you anything. We cannot tell you if we ever investigated these people, right? But we recommend that people foster children, adopt and foster children, is what they said. So I'm sure, I don't even know if it'll go to court. I mean, these things just don't seem to be going to court anymore. So luckily, now, there is also okay, so the stepfather was also charged with abusing a young girl. And that happened between 2020 and now. They never provided this 12-year-old any schooling. But if the boy was gone that long, he had to have been, who was feeding him? I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot to this story. And we'll find out more, you guys. I know that Remain Calm isn't very good at this, but we will get it figured out. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. Oh, girl, I've been wanting to eat freaking everything. I mean, everything. Okay. Let me double check something here real quick. Good morning. Good morning. I think that's about all we have right now. Yeah, so the mother is the one with the sexual acts with multiple canines. What kind of stepdad or hey, Rachel, I mean, who is okay with that? That's disgusting. That is disgusting, you guys. For sure. Let me make my jellyfish bigger. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm going to go get me a fresh cup of coffee here real quick. I do not know, Miss Justice. I mean, I guess if you ask people on the YouTube streets, everybody's related to the Wells. I do not know, ma'am. I don't know. I don't know. For sure. So we will keep up with that case. That's just kind of crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Oh. Damn, I would lose my head if it wasn't freaking screwed on right. For real. I'm gonna start snowing here a little bit. I'm trying to gain weight. When I went to the doctor yesterday, I'm down to like 98 pounds again. So I got to start eating more. Getting that protein in there. I definitely do. I definitely do, my friends. Okay. So let's talk about another incident. Is it, Poppy? I'm sure it's going to get cold here too. I don't know. I mean, I was pretty sick, you guys. For sure. For sure I was. Okay, so let's switch over and talk about this lady. Now, her name is Julia Evans Pickett. She's facing 2 felony counts of ill treatment of animals. Okay? She's facing charges in an animal abuse case that involves nearly 100 animals. 100 animals, you guys. She was arrested on December 31st, 2025. She's been charged with 2 felony counts of ill treatment of animals. The director of the Lexington County Animal Service said that her arrest comes after the team got a tip about potential animal abuse concerns at 2 properties owned by this woman. Super sensible. I've already had 2 stents put in. I had a heart attack last year. So, yeah, I got checked for that. So, they put in 2 stents. So 2 different properties that these animals were found on. They got a warrant. They searched the properties, and the conditions were severe enough that all animals were removed. Approximately 100 animals were located and removed. Some animals had, unfortunately, already passed away. More animals may not survive or may have to be humanely euthanized. All surviving animals were taken to various facilities and are receiving care. According to Jones, more charges are expected against her, and she is now at the Lexington County Detention Center. Isn't that fucking weird? Well, I'm trying, Poppy, so I'm glad you didn't start again. For sure. Okay, yeah. Well, that's what it sounded like, right? It's what it sounded like. For sure. For sure, for sure. Okay, now, let's talk about this crazy story. You know, there's a lot of people who run those puppy mills, right? Okay. So, anywho, a woman robbed a Chick-fil-A, then she went and gambled all the money away, and then she led cops on a high-speed chase. I mean, this woman is crazy. All right, let's see about this girl here. An Alabama woman is in jail after police say she robbed a Chick-fil-A and used the money to gamble at casinos. On Friday, police were called to a Chick-fil-A in Leeds. Officers say Khadijah Chandrell Haynes, 32 of Birmingham, used mace at the drive-through window and told an employee to give her a bag with money in it. The employee complied, and police said she left the parking lot driving recklessly and putting other employees' life in danger. Why couldn't they just shut the window? You can block you up again with 6 months. Yeah, it's okay, super sensible. I've been to the heart doctor. I've already been back there a couple times to the heart doctor. You want me to take a baseball bat with me next time? I had a virus. Hence the antibiotic. Hence the steroids. I'm sure they'll get to it. Well, it hasn't, in February, it'll be a year. So I'm sure they'll do all that stuff again. I can't make them do anything. I mean, I can't. Or I already would have. For sure. Okay, so Khadijah here decided that, I mean, why didn't they just shut the fucking drive-through window? How come this isn't making sense to me? I mean, for sure. If I was working at a drive-through window and somebody came showing me a fucking can of mace and saying, I'm gonna spray you if you don't give me money, I would have just shut that window. I would have just shut the freaking window. That's just me, though. All right. So detectives were able to track her location to the Wind Creek Casino, where they said she was gambling with the Chick-fil-A money. She was arrested after crashing into several trees. She is in the Elmore County Jail, charged with attempting to elude, unlawful possession of a controlled substance, resisting arrest, and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Upon her release from the jail, she will be transferred to St. Clair County Jail on charges of first-degree robbery, reckless endangerment, and fourth-degree theft of property. We are proud that none of our employees or customers were injured. This individual endangered employees while fleeing, and when she attempted to elude law enforcement in Wetumpka. She put others in danger and could have unalived herself. It shows that addiction will cause someone to do anything to gamble or use substances. So she needed the money, I guess. I guess she needed the money. Fucking crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I'd have took that chicken sandwich. Well, I'm not feeling 100%, but I feel better than I did the last few days. I mean, when I said I wasn't feeling good, it meant that I wasn't feeling good. For sure. For sure, for sure. I mean, just craziness. Okay, this is a new one here. One of the worst cases, a 72-year-old man admitted to sexually abusing children for nearly a decade. His name is R.J. Sanders. He was sentenced to 4 life sentences to be served concurrently in custody of the Mississippi Department of Corrections without the possibility of parole. Pass Christian Police and Gulfport Police investigated the case and determined that he sexually assaulted children in both cities between 2013 and 2021. Why wasn't he caught? And he admitted to it. Officials say that Saunders was entrusted with the care and supervision of the victims when their parents were at work. Wow. He would watch the children by taking them for ice cream, playing dress up, making music videos, but unbeknownst to others, he was secretly doing things to the children behind closed doors. The abuse went on for years until one victim told a family member, and then other victims came forward. That's what happens a lot. Nothing is ever said until one victim, becomes brave enough to say. After that, it kind of gives others the chance to come forward and, talk about the stuff. His trial will begin on January 12th, but he entered his plea this week. He admitted to his guilt, but offered little remorse. They said it was one of the worst cases they had ever seen. Wow. He took a plea. I mean, he still got 4 life sentences, though. He still got 4 life sentences, so isn't that horrible? Just freaking horrible. I mean, this is all crazy. What has the world come to? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Freaking crazy. Well, I'm just glad the 12-year-old could get away from the situation. It's just horrible. Horrible. Update on child trafficking. Please. Let me see. I want to try to find this one case. All right. Let's see if we can find out. I will do an update by itself on the children. You guys remember the 7 individuals that were charged with trafficking children out of that concrete bunker building where individuals were paying for it? I want to get an update on that. And I've got it pulled up, but there's a lot here. I want to see who's went to court and who hasn't went to court. Now, John Paul Miller, they charged him with cyber stalking and giving false information to federal investigators relating to Micah Miller's unaliving herself. So, but he did plead not guilty, and he does have to wear an ankle monitor. He had to turn in his passport. He can have no contact with Micah's family. He really can't do anything right now. So we'll get into that later. I'm not going to go over that today. For sure. Live. What a life. What a life. There's just so much in the world going on today. Too much going on in the world today. I don't know if I have anything left for right now. I don't know if anybody really cares, to be honest. For sure. I don't know what this is. Oh, what is this? Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. I think I may have already talked about this. Yeah, the death of the 14-month-old in Kingsport. Yeah, I already talked about that. Okay. All right. But I will get back in the swing of things. I can promise you that. Starting to fucking feel better, man. Telling you, it's just crazy. Craziness. I'm tired of not feeling good. Tired, I'm telling you. No, but I do apologize because I forgot I had scheduled that for yesterday. If it's bad when you don't feel well and you don't even feel like getting out and going to the doctor. But I survived. Drinking the crap out of orange juice. Drinking the crap out of orange juice. You better believe that. We also got to finish up on Tim Mullins. But I don't know if anybody even really cares about that stuff, to be honest. All right, let me check my watch later list to see if I need to go over any of that really quickly. Because I did have a couple things. Oh, there is one more case I want to talk about. Which is so sad. It's really sad. This is from Charlotte. This is from WBTV3. Hold on.
Of abuse and neglect at an East Charlotte home before a child's horrific death there last month.
Investigative reporter Naomi Coles obtained records showing this home was well known to officials, yet no one stepped in to remove the children.
No child's story should begin at a funeral home. But for Dominique Moody, that's where you'll now find her most outspoken advocates.
We know that this little one struggled to survive.
J. Vernon Peterson is Dominique's distant relative and runs Unity Funeral Services in Fayetteville. He didn't know of Dominique's existence until family reached out asking him to help in her death.
When I read how she passed away, I was incensed.
Graphic and horrific new details just released in court.
The 6-year-old died in this East Charlotte home, since burned in a fire on December 16th. Investigators have charged 3 women in the home, including Dominique's guardian, and accused them of keeping the child bound in tape in a dog cage, withholding food, beating her, and leaving her to sleep with dog feces, rats, and roaches on the floor. Court records say her body was covered in old and new scars and injuries, and she was 27 pounds, 13 pounds below the minimum acceptable weight for a child who was about to turn 7 years old.
In my line of work, you swallowed and keep moving. This is something that you just can't swallow.
For 3 men who see death every day, Dominique Moody's broke them.
I have to be the one take the body into the freezer, and when I looked into the bag, I couldn't handle it. I just broke down and started crying.
Until now, the Mecklenburg County Department of Social Services has refused to comment on whether they had been involved at this home, citing child privacy laws. But I've now obtained this juvenile court record, typically sealed off to public eye. It's filed by DSS social workers. In it, they admit to 5 investigations opened at Dominique's home in the years before her death. The agency closed each of them, saying there wasn't enough evidence to substantiate abuse and neglect.
That's what happens. That is what happens. Never enough evidence. Never enough evidence at all. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. If I go live tomorrow, we are going to finish up the Tim Mullen stuff. Like I said, I don't know if anybody really cares about that or not. And I appreciate you guys popping in. Thank you so much. And, all we can do is say prayers for these little ones. And these people have to start, they just have to start being held accountable for the horrific stuff that they've done. But as we see, many of them plea out. And that is just horrible in itself for sure. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And I apologize for not feeling well here lately and not getting back on here. But like I said, I do have to get back in the swing of things because it does help me pay a bill or two. So please subscribe and like and follow or come in and hang out or do whatever. Be you, do you. Peace out, everybody. Thank you, guys.